Well, hello there, Onewood family. I hope this video finds you doing well, and most importantly, I hope this video finds you inside, underneath a blanket with your warm socks on. If you have a fireplace with the fire going, and your hot coffee or tea or hot cocoa or whatever it is that you like to drink that keeps you warm, I hope you have all of that. It is so very cold outside, and I hated to cancel this weekend, but I thought that was without a doubt the wisest move for us to make due to these just incredibly cold temperatures and winter weather. So I'm really looking forward to being back together on Sunday the 21st, where Pastor Cody will help us continue on our new series on the fruits of the Spirit. Well, he'll teach us on love. And, it won't be on Valentine's Day where it'd be kind of fitting, but at the same time, it's always pretty fitting for people who claim to be loved by the Lord to talk about how we love the world around us. And we claim to be loved by the Lord because He loves us. Like, that is a fact we can never hear often enough, that God loves us. It's also true that we can't talk enough about the fact that that love needs to come into us and go right back out to the world around us, because God also loves that world around us, and they need to experience His love just like we've experienced His love. So I'm so excited to hear Pastor Cody teach us on that. So in lieu of him preaching that sermon and sending that out, I'm going to share just a devotional thought, and you can watch this on Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, Monday night, whenever works for you. I hope you can get this squeezed in. But wanted us to, since we can't meet together, at least at some point, hopefully at the beginning of the week if you can, get our minds focused on things of the Lord, so that as we start a new week, we are ready we've already put our minds in the right place as we begin doing the things that we do as just part of our daily life. Now, I did the midweek Bible study and sent that out this past Wednesday, and noted that I had been reading through Exodus in my personal Bible time, and I'm still reading through Exodus. In fact, earlier in the week, I was reading some kind of fascinating passages, and it deals about, or talks about, here Moses is recording, when God gave instructions on how to build some of the physical representation of His presence within the children of Israel. So I'm just gonna highlight a few things here, and then I'll tell you what I think that needs to mean for us as we live our lives day to day. It says in Exodus 25, verse 10, it says, "They are to make an ark of acacia wood, 45 inches long, 27 inches wide, and 27 inches high. Overlay it with pure gold, both inside and out." Let's jump over to verse 23. "You are to construct a table of acacia wood," which was a rather premier, prestigious, expensive type of wood. It's not white pine that's commonly found at Lowe's or Home Depot. "You are to construct a table of acacia wood, 36 inches long, 18 inches wide, and 27 inches high. Overlay it with pure gold and make a gold molding all around it." Let's go over to chapter 26, verse 1, when Moses is talking about the tabernacle that God instructed them to build. It said, "You are to construct the tabernacle itself with 10 curtains. You must make them out of finely spun linen and blue, purple, and scarlet yarn, with the design of cherubim worked into them. Each curtain should be 42 feet long and 6 feet wide. All the curtains are to have the same measurements." And we could go through article or thing that they built, different ways they were represented, and there's a common theme that ties them all together. There's one common thing that brings all of these elements together. And there's a couple, but let's hone in on one. One, they were made of the finest building materials known to them at that time. You could not get any more expensive, couldn't get any more elaborate, nicer. These materials, gold, fine linen, expensive wood, represent the fact that they were building something from the Lord at God's direction, and God demanded that if you're going to build something for me at my direction, it better be the best you got. See, church, one thing or line we often recognize is that God gave us His very best, right? He gave us His Son. He gave us a relationship with Himself. That's pretty good. It doesn't get any better than that. God gave us His absolute best. And God demands our absolute best. He doesn't request it. He doesn't ask politely. It's not up for negotiation. God demands our absolute best. Absolute best. And we do not have the right to cut corners or to hold back or to shave a little bit off here and there. No, God demands our absolute best. And when we don't give that, we're committing a sin against Him. And we're cheating a loving, good God from our personal best. Church, we don't want to be found doing that. We want to show God that He is so great by giving Him our absolute best. And there's three areas that I want to for us to think on today. Just three different aspects of our lives that we need to think on and ask ourselves the question, are we giving God our best in these areas? First is our time. Are we giving God our best time? Now, notice I didn't just say, are we giving God some time? Are we carving out some minutes or some hours here and there? Because it's not just about setting some time aside. It's about giving God our best time. I remember when I was sitting in a meeting with my boss, and it was there were 3 or 4 of us that all served on the discipleship team or the age-graded ministry team, and he was talking to us just about our personal lives and our personal relationship with Jesus Christ. And he said so clearly, it doesn't matter when you pray, but you got to pray. And very clearly he said, doesn't matter when you have a quiet time, doesn't matter when you spend time with the Lord, but you got to do it. Church, we need to give God our best time. And this is a challenge because sometimes our best time is automatically in conflict with something else. It's also true that sometimes when we feel at our best, we automatically jump to other important things. But nothing is more important than Jesus Christ. And while on earth, we need to make spending time with Him a priority. And we need to give Him our very best time, all right? My best time is not in the morning. Man, I am not a morning person. Eva woke me up at 5:30 the other morning, happy, chatty. It was 3 days ago and I still haven't forgiven her. All right? I am not a morning person. I don't carve out time to spend with God in the morning. I do it at night. After the kids go to bed, I often hit another stride. Sometimes I relax for a bit, but after that, sometimes I get back to work. Sometimes I complete some sermon study, or I finish up a project around the house, or I make sure I get some other things done that are important. That may be when I look at important things like my personal finances while my mind's a little bit sharper. And it's during that time slot that I've got to diligently carve out time for the Lord, because that's when I'm at my best. Church, we need to give God our best time, the time when we're alert, the time where we're really ready to learn, the time to where when we read it makes sense to us, to times to where we don't get as distracted by a tired brain. And that may be first thing in the morning. Maybe you take an afternoon little nap. And when you wake up from that, you're just ready to go. Maybe that's the best time for you to spend with the Lord. Maybe you're like me and it's at night. But God needs our best time. If I woke up every morning and read my Bible, I probably wouldn't retain much. But when I do it at night, I get a lot more out of it. And that means I've got to choose to not do other things at night. That means most nights I've got to turn off the TV and say, okay, maybe when I'm dog tired I can watch this show. But right now, while I'm still awake, I need to read my Bible and talk to the Lord for a little bit about my life and about my church and my family. Church, we need to give God not just time, we need to give Him our best time. Time where we're really ready to dig in and learn and to focus on Him. We need to give Him the best of our talents. We need to look at our lives and say, God, this is what I'm good at. This is what I can do. Show me how you can use this in ministry. Give me a task. Give me a way to build your kingdom through the fact that I can XYZ. And your XYZ may be cooking. It may be teaching. It may be a recreational activity like quilting or golfing or a lot of different things. But God, here's what I can do. Here's the skill set I have learned. Here's what I've done in my professional life, and maybe there's a niche for that, and God's saying, hey, you've already got a knack for this, let me use that. You know, sometimes when we are good at something, we want to keep that to ourselves. Sometimes if we do something as part of our day or part of our job, we don't really want to turn around and do that more on the weekend or in our downtime, but God says, I made you in a particular way, and each of us have something that we benefit from in life that God's put there, and we need to give the best of that to the Lord. Best of our schedule, best of our talents, best of our resources, that we give God our very best. And we need to give God the best of our affection. That's the third way. We need to love God well. You know, love, that phrase gets tossed around an awful lot. And right now it's Valentine's Day, so there's a lot of pink and red and hearts and love going around. And love often comes in different levels. Okay, I love the world around me, but I don't meet their needs at the same level of intensity. I don't meet the needs of a stranger at the same level I meet the needs of my kids. I don't meet the needs of a acquaintance at the same level I meet the needs of my best friends. I don't stay up late worrying about the future of people I've barely met or maybe haven't even met, but there's times to where I lay awake worrying or lay awake thinking or reflecting or praying about my family and our church and what God wants to accomplish through us. We know what it's like to love things well. To really love something in such a way that drives us to effort, that drives us to do well at it, that says, oh, I want for this person to know that I love them. Okay, Eli turned 13 on Thursday. Exciting time. And Thursday we went out to dinner, kids and I. And then Friday night, he and myself and a friend went out to dinner. And we went to an entertainment place and we played laser tag. And then Saturday at lunch, my family gathered around and we had another meal and we exchanged a few gifts. It was a great couple days. And at the end of it, I think Eli genuinely felt loved. And I was so happy because I wanted to love him in such a way that made sure he felt celebrated as he entered his teen years. God needs to be loved well by us. God needs to be loved with a level of intensity and determination from us that says, man, my God is so good, he's going to get my best. He's going to know that I love him. He's going to know that I appreciate him. I'm not going to hold anything back, that if he asks me for anything, I'm going to do it because I love the Lord like that, and that's how that's going to take shape in my life. God deserves the best of our love and attention and affection. Church, we know what that looks like. We also know what it looks like to not really love the Lord to our best effort. All right? We need to do that. God demands our best. Once again, this isn't a hollow request. It's not God like saying, oh yeah, I want your best, but not really. No, he really wants our best. It really is obtainable that we give God our absolute best. Now, at 36, it sounds like a long time for me to say I'm going to give God my very best for the rest of my life. But I tell you what, I can wrap my mind around doing it tomorrow. I can say, God, I'm going to give you my best tomorrow or for the rest of the day. We can do that. God, I'm going to love you like crazy for the rest of the day. Just know that. And I'm going to wake up and do it tomorrow. Church, just reading in Exodus as they're getting instructions from the Lord on how they're going to build things that are going to remind them about God's presence, we see so clearly that God demands our best. Let's go back to the building illustration. I remember as a young child, my parents built a home. It was an exciting, long, arduous process. There's a lot of decisions they made. And in reality, like most people that build homes, they ended up shaving some cost here and there. As the project went on, usually things don't turn out financially exactly like you had planned, no matter how good of a planner. So as things came down to the end, there were some things that they didn't do that maybe they wanted to, but that was the best decision to kind of cut that cost. I remember that they didn't put in a garbage disposal. I don't know why I remember that. It's not a big deal in my life then or now. I just remember, okay, that was coming down. That was kind of an expense they didn't have to incur. They could live without it, so they did. When we look at the elements used to build these things on Lord's behalf, He never comes and says, okay, well, no one's really going to see this corner over there. It's kind of out of the way, so let's save some money there. Let's put some back in our pocket there. No, throughout the whole thing, God says, give me your absolute best. And in our life, God looks at it all and says, okay, Tim Lawson, give me your absolute best. Don't cut any corners. Don't shave any cost. Don't hide something back there and think, oh, no one's going to look. God doesn't see it. God excuses that. No, I give Him my best. So I take everything I know about my life and I do what I can to absolutely give the Lord my best with what I know to be true about me and what I know to be true about Him. Church, we need to give God our very best. That's true of a lot of areas of our lives, but today we looked at our time, our talents, and our affections, that we would give God our best time, that we would really look at our lives and say, okay, God, take what's good about me and use it to build your kingdom, and that we would really love the Lord well. We know how to do that. We know what that looks like. We just got to discipline ourselves to get out there and do it. Church, I'm excited to get back together on Sunday the 21st. I know Pastor Cody and I talked. He is going to do such a great job at teaching us about the fruit of the Spirit of love and what that needs to look like. So make plans to be there. I checked the weather recently, and it actually may be above freezing by next Sunday. And wouldn't that feel like a heat wave? So again, have a great week. Stay safe and warm. If we can do anything for you at all during these cold, wintry days, you need anything, call the church office. We will help you in any way we can. Have a great week, and we will see you real soon.